When you're making network maps in Kumu, keeping them readable is one of the most important goals to achieve. When everything is overlapping and clumped in the center like this, it's difficult for both you and your audience to draw insight from the data that you've mapped out, especially if you haven't worked with this kind of visualization before. It's definitely true that every map is unique, but even so, there are some techniques that you can use that will improve the readability of just about any network map that you create in Kumu. The first of these techniques is to make sure that you pick the right template. So on this map, if I open up my default view settings, I can see here that I'm working with the systems template. The systems template is great for mapping causal relationships between different factors in a system, but for mapping things like social networks, which is what I'm working with right now, it's usually better to pick the social network analysis template or the stakeholder template. I'll choose the stakeholder template for now, and you can see that things are loosening up a bit here in the center of the map. So choosing the right template is the first technique, and the next one is choosing the right layout preset, which you can also do from this same default view settings menu. If your map is looking busy in the middle, try applying the hairball layout preset to spread things out. So this is looking better, but now I have the opposite problem, which is that the map is so spread out that I can't read anything when I'm zoomed out and trying to look at the big picture. But I can start solving that problem with the next technique, which is to use popovers. To add a popover for all elements, I'll go into the advanced editor and type element. And then inside that block, I'll type popover and label in double curly brackets. And now when I hover my cursor over any element, or if I'm using a touchscreen and I tap on an element, I can see its label even when I'm all the way zoomed out. There are just two more techniques that I like to use on pretty much all of my network maps. And the first one is to add buttons on your map that people can click to filter elements based on the data in their profiles. To do that, I'm going to add a custom control, and I'll filter elements by the organization type field. I'll make that one a drop down, and I'll move that to the top of the map. And now I can open this drop down and select the types of organizations that I want to see. And you can see that the map is filtering down to a much more readable state. So the last technique that I'll show you is something that a lot of people stumble across on their own, and it's called focus. To use focus, I can click on anything on the map, and then I can click the focus icon over here to focus 1 degree out, which is one connection away from my starting point. From there, I can expand or contract one step at a time as needed, and my starting point will be highlighted while I do that. We touched on a lot of different Kumu features in this video, but to learn more about each one individually, you can go to docs.kumu.io and search for templates, layout, popovers, controls, and focus.